with talent on loan from God. I am Rush Limbaugh, America's real anchorman, and it's Friday, ladies and gentlemen.
Live from the Southern Command in sunny South Florida, it's Open Line Friday!
Open Line Friday, where you, if you call in, you get through, you can talk about whatever you want. And I mean that. It's Monday through Thursday, you have to talk about things I care about. But on Friday, I don't have to care about it. It can be obscure. It can be an embarrassing question. It can be a penetrating question. Whatever. Again, 800-282-2882 and the email address lrushmore@eibnet.com. All right, we'll see here. Yeah, I did some sound bites. I don't want to spend anywhere near the whole day on this French situation, just two or three more things and then moving on. And again, a little pop quiz. We may do Environmentalist Wacko football picks for the football weekend. I don't know if I'm going to have time to explain the Slim Whitman thing, Snurdly. We'll see. I mean, I only got 2 hours left. The first is zipped by. Okay, pop quiz. Who said? It's not a name. I don't even have a name. But so the question not really is who said. Where'd this come from? We don't need these fringe guys as much as we did anymore. We can let them walk on certain bills, and it just won't matter. This gives us breathing room. Where did this come from? What kind of person is saying, we don't need these fringe guys as much as we did anymore? Just a little pop quiz. Okay, Francois Hollande, the socialist commie SOB that runs France, has got speak to the French people at 2 p.m. our time, so a little less than an hour from now. And I have breaking news here from the Jerusalem Post. A move by France's ruling socialists to ban the far-right National Front from a peace march for Charlie Hebdo. Shooting victims may backfire, forcing undecided voters to choose between Marie Le Pen and her rivals amid fear of it. Can I translate this for you? In the first place, the far-right National Front is just French conservatives. And Francois Hollande is contemplating not allowing them to march in the nationwide peace march for the victims of the magazine. President Hollande's socialists call this week for a show of national unity. To happen on Sunday, in support of the magazine and the Media Freedom Days after gunmen stormed into the magazine's office and killed 12 people. But the mood of unity lasted just hours, as the march's organizers said there would be no room for the National Front, the French conservatives. They're anti-European Union. They're anti-socialists. And so but even the Jerusalem Post calling them the far right. Anyway, the French socialists are denying French conservatives the right to march in a national show of unity this coming Sunday. I want to take you back to Wednesday on this program to set up what follows. Just to remind you, I said, among many things, this grievance industry, which has at its root the United States has misbehaved since its founding. The United States has had a much bigger footprint all over the world than we ever deserved to have. We've run her over the world, trampling everybody and everything. We've stolen, we have appropriated, and that's why we're a superpower, and it's illegitimate, and it's unjustified. So this stuff, plus our relationship with Israel, all of that has combined to create, at the highest levels of our leadership, this idea that there is some evidence that the United States is responsible for this to an extent. I don't know to what extent, but that we certainly have some guilt about this. That's what the whole grievance industry is about. And clearly ISIS has a grievance with us. Clearly Al-Qaeda does. Clearly militant Islam does. Okay, this was this past Wednesday, and I was just describing the grievance industry, grievance politics, and being one of the explanations for Islam's hatred, militant Islam's hatred of the West. Okay, Fareed Zakaria, GPS, was on CNN last night with Don Lemon. And Don Lemon said, hey, Fareed's GPS. It sums up the horror of what's happening around the world, all over the world. We are seeing it now in Paris, even, Fareed.
There is within the world of Islam many, many pockets, many groups that really have a great deal of difficulty with the modern world, and particularly with the open, Western, freedom of speech loving, freedom of expression loving world. The grievance is that they feel they live in a world not of their making, a world of the West's making.
Bingo! Bingo! I'm telling you, I know these people like every square inch of my glorious naked. I know them better than they do. He just confirmed everything I said. And, of course, his intellectual sounding way of speaking. Fareed Zakaria GPS. I always know what I am because of my GPS. It's in my phone. Particularly to have a grievance. The open Western freedom of speech-loving, freedom of expression-loving world. The grievance is they feel they live in a world not of their making. See, we've forced all of this on them. The West, that's us. We've made the world, and we've left them out, and we've made a world using our power, and we haven't given them a place in it. And that's what he's saying. Fareed Zakaria GPS confirming. I mean, he's a indicator, he's a barometer of leftist, intellectual, elitist thought. Although not his, he's a plagiarist, which is why I'm not surprised he's copying me in his own way. And now here's Christiane Amanpour, and she was on Anderson Cooper 19 last night. And Cooper said, hey, it'll be interesting to see what happens later today here in France.
One of the things that we're living right now is a very ugly and unseemly rise yet again of Islamophobia, and this is very worrying. All these governments now are going to be watching to see how the far right, which made huge gains in the last local elections in Europe a few months ago, National Front here, UKIP in England, you know, the groups in Belgium and in Germany and elsewhere, which are mobilizing big anti-Islamic sort of demonstrations, how this is going to play into this very ugly political situation.
Yes. What political situation? We just had an act of terrorism. What's political about that? So we just had this massive act of terrorism. And Christiane Amanpour coming along and confirming that which I found in the New York Times yesterday and shared with you, that their real concern is that this means the rise to power of extremist right-wing factions and movements, potentially governments. Oh, yeah. One of the things we're living right now, very ugly, unseemly, not active terrorism. Oh, no, that's not ugly and unseemly. No, what's ugly and unseemly is the rise yet again of Islamophobia. Where the hell has there been any? There hasn't been any Islamophobia. Nobody's got the guts to talk about them at all. Where has it been, Snerdley? Where is this Islamophobia? Where is this backlash? I mean, from a standpoint of official, where is it? Are the people of France marching around on the streets talking about? Where is it? It's in these people's minds. So she can't even bring herself to discuss the very ugly and unseemly terrorist act at Charlie Hebdo. No. We're living through a very ugly, unseemly rise of Islamophobia. Very worrying. And governments are now going to be watching to see how the far right takes advantage of this. And she's well, wait a second. She's talking about the far right. These are people that contest for elections. They're not dictators. All she's talking about is a fear of election returns. The French conservative movement runs for election. If they lose, they lose. If they win, they win. Islamophobia has got nothing to do with it. See, this is how they do, folks. All you have to do is oppose the characterization of what happened at that magazine as terrorism, and you are an Islamophobe. Just like if you utter one word of criticism of Barack Hussein, you are a racist. And if you do not approve of gay marriage, you are a homophobe.